Well, hello, friends. Let's transition over. Hi! It's another Saturday. It's another CyberBuzz. I hope you're all doing well. You were just listening to Meadows and Makers with Making Stuff. And again, his show is so good. He's such a good DJ. If you come to hang out and you're on the Twitch stream or you're watching on YouTube, you should definitely check out mspwaves.com because we have amazing DJs who do cool stuff and you'll probably really like them. If you like me, you will definitely like the other live streaming DJs who are much, much better than I am. Oh, hey, Crim. So yeah, my name is Crimsonclad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. I'm here every Saturday talking a little bit about tech, talking about Hive, NFTs, art, disruptive tech. I play a bunch of Synthwave. Oh yeah, you're out. I know. So, I'm happy to have you. I love that you're here. And you can watch and listen wherever you want. We'll spend a couple hours hanging out, doing some shitty chatting. Oh my, your hairstyle. Do you not like this? Is Gandalf beaking me from across the waves? Sir, what's wrong with this? I brushed my hair and it was a mess. So this is the hard part about being a live streamer, friends, is your countenance, your appearance, your skills, everything becomes up for being made fun of. But for the record, I brushed my hair and I had to get it out of my face. So this is what you get. You get the chicken bun. You don't like my chicken bun? You're not a fan? Well, that's okay. It doesn't matter. So welcome to another week. It usually takes about 10 minutes or so for people to come wandering in, but I got lots of stuff that I want to talk about today. I got lots of stuff that I want to share with you guys. You think it looks good for a Biden sniff? Great. Perfect. Thank you. That would be delightful. I sound spunky today. I sound spunky every day, Qua. I see Witty's in here. I don't know if he's fake news, but I haven't seen him in ages, so that's cool. Hi to the pig. Dracos has hopped in. Look at all these cool people who don't normally show up for the show. I'm excited to have you. You like this? You like that I'm spunky? Well, if you listen, I always sound spunky, but you often fake news me, so that's okay. So today, I'm tired. You can always tell how the tone of a show is going to go when I'm sitting. Because you can tell, well, maybe you can't tell I'm sitting, but I am. I'm schlumping here in my chair. And you can use any interface you like, Gandalf. You can. You do what you do. So today I thought we would kind of just hang out. I am going to play a little bit more music. You can tell I'm tired and I'm schlumpy. So we're sitting. We're not standing, and that is a good indicator of how the day's going to go. But there's 7 ways. There's a million ways. There's all the ways, and all the ways are the best ways. And in fact, we can even turn on some of the really obnoxious spam. We could do that. Let's do it. So hey, what's up? Now, oh Lord, I didn't make a tweet twat, so we'll follow up with that. But let's kind of start with where we left off last week. Last week, gosh, I don't even remember how far have we come in the last week or so. Last week we had a live interview with the podcasting crew from Oriel, which was super fun and super cute. Hey, Bonehead, on your way home from Texas, I believe. So I'd love to kind of pop up and just double check. Did you guys get a chance to listen to that interview? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Have you checked out Oriel? Yeah, 1 year Hive anniversary. We had that in there. And I believe we talked about it. We talked about it a little bit last week as well, but we could talk about it again. And with some of the stuff going on around the platform. So this is up to you guys. The show is shaped by you guys, but I definitely will be playing a little more music this week. And there are a few things that I did want to bring up because there's some cool stuff that has happened around Hive. And a lot of it has to do with the way that Peak D is kind of expanding and handling communities. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about that. Maybe, lasers and NFTs and all the stuff that we kind of that we often cover on this particular show, and we'll go from there, right? I also am working on another newbie night, and I know some of you guys obviously are the last people who are far, far, far from being newbies, but I do really want to see some more efforts in this arena to kind of help out people who are coming from magical NFT land or who are just checking out Hive because... Oh! What is going on? Who the fuck pulled me out of the live on air room and put me into the broadcast room? You bastards. Or maybe I did that. I totally forgot I was in this room. Okay, so now that I've figured out why I'm talking to myself, my shock there, now I see that hair. Jesus. Oh, Lord Almighty. It's good. It's always good when you're focused. And this is usually why I remember to turn off my headphones. All right, so we're sorted. You heard me in triplicate there for a moment. And now you won't. Hi to everybody who's just joining us. Apparently my hair is really bad today. And I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not. It grows out of my head. This is the color it is. This is the shape it is. Fucking deal with it, you bastards. So I'm going to grab this post because I think it's kind of a valuable post, and we'll start there, and then we'll have some fun. We'll jive, and I might even have a bit of open mic. I thought we haven't done that pretty much in forever on this show. And I thought, okay, well, then if anybody does want to jump on air, does want to hang out, and does want to talk a little bit about what they've got going on or ask some questions or whatever, then we can do that too. No problem. But where we started, my hair is awesome. Thank you. You started everyone making fun of it, so the least you can do is comment it now. Let me on air. Okay, Ron Swoop. But yeah, maybe. Let's come back around. So last week, yeah, we celebrated the 1-year anniversary of Hive, and I did an interview with the Oriole team, who is a team putting together an incredibly beautiful monetized podcasting app on Hive. Now, podcasts, we'll try not to get too far into everything we talked about last week, but podcasts are obviously something we're all consuming a lot of. It's the pandemic. It's not... we need content, we need friends, we need fun, we need anything to keep us sane. So podcasts are really relevant right now. And even in the last the week since we had them on air, I'm hoping you guys have gotten a chance, either you were here live or you got a chance to check out that interview. Oh, good. I could see chat is incredibly focused today. Half of you are making fun of my hair. Ron thinks I'm a cold-hearted bitch because I'm going to kill his coding career. And the question of what we're jumping onto is being asked, which is good. You know what? It's good. Things are going to go downhill real quick. And that is the way that we like it around here. So the Oriole team has been working all week on new features. And so if you guys haven't checked out last week's show, I highly recommend you do. And coming up next week, I've actually got potentially, we'll check and see, because next week is Easter weekend for those of you who are inclined to celebrate holidays. Fuck, my tea is really hot. Fuck. You may or may not be around. We'll see if it'll be next weekend or the week after. I'm actually going to start bringing in some of the people in the NFT space, some of the artists who are creating NFTs on Hive around ETH, who are doing cool stuff, who also cross over with music and fun and community. And Kami Uspat, he's an incredible comics artist, and he's got some cool stuff, and he's going to be hopping in either next week or the week after. So lots of cool stuff happening. Can you have a link? Can you have a link to what? To Oriole? Absolutely. I will drop one in the chat. So I was curious to know, have any of you guys been using it? Have you been checking it out over the last week? Or have you seen that over the last week, they've pushed a bunch of new features and they're getting ready to kind of move beyond their baby beta stage and take this a little bit broader. So we'll kind of see what the answers are, but I'm guessing, oh, thank you, Ron. I'm guessing that if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend that you hop in either to their Discord or you check out their app, you look at the website, because we often talk about how Hive doesn't have a ton of really beautiful. You're just popping in to say my hair is fabulous. Thank you. I hope your auction went really well this morning and that your birthday was great. And I'll see you tomorrow. But yes, thank you. My hair, it is fabulous. In fact, I'm going to continue over the course of the show. I'm going to make my ponytail higher and tighter and fluffier just to piss off the haters. Eventually, I'm going to have a ponytail just coming directly out of my forehead. And that's how that's going to go. So I see more people are watching on MSP Waves. People are jumping in on YouTube. People are hanging around. Listen, CyberBuzz today is a pretty chill. I see pigs over on Twitch. Can you get a beehive next week? No, because when I was a kid, there was this stupid show, and I'm trying to remember what it was. I want to say it wasn't Are You Afraid of the Dark? Maybe it was. But there was this show about this chick who had a big, beautiful beehive, and she put more and more hairspray on it to keep it in shape every day. And she put so much hairspray that it became like shellacked. And then she got headaches. And when they cut her beehive open, it was full of spiders. So no beehive. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. I swear to God, this existed. This is what I remember from my childhood. And I'm terrified of beehive hairdos ever since. So listen, let's try and function. Let's try and have a useful show this morning. We'll see. I think we're going to play a lot of music and we're going to laugh at each other a lot. I suspect that's where the day is going, but maybe not. So we've touched on the Oriole stuff, and if you're somebody who's following along with it, or if you follow along with my show, then just keep in mind that they're going to be doing some sort of wider and broader launches soon, but they are always looking for feedback. They're always looking for cool people in the ecosystem to help them out. And I could go Princess Leia on us. I could. I was Princess Leia for multiple Halloweens because I had such a girl crush on Carrie Fisher. So there's that. But I'll say this here, because you know what, this show, don't expect to learn anything. Fuck it. But I will say that when I was a kid, my Halloween Princess Leia always carried her own lightsaber. And it's not because I ended up reading the Extended Universe books, which I did later on. And, you know, she discovers her own Jedi powers and whatnot. But when I was a kid and I had watched the trilogy and this was just this mind-bending, life-shaping stuff, my Princess Leia carried a lightsaber because I just assumed that she always would. She was a boss bitch, and lightsabers were for cool people that that could take care of themselves and defend others. And I always thought she was so strong and so cool. And I carried that through a lot of my enjoyment of strong female sci-fi characters for many, many years until Carrie Fisher passed away. And when she did, it was really sad. I felt a little part of me was like, the world lost one very strong, completely insane, troubled, and very relatable human. And I'm going to continue carrying around a lightsaber and being a boss bitch in honor. And it hasn't changed, friends. And here we are talking about, you know, the retro future and hanging out, learning about blockchain, you know, making fun of people's hair. And pew-pewing our lasers all over the place. So we'll move on from Oriole and we'll move on from random anecdotes about spiders in Princess Leia's hair or in beehives or in my hair or spiders in general and kind of come back. Around. Yeah, exactly, Witty. Exactly. We'll come back around. And one of the things that I started off, Fox is leaving. Fox doesn't like me. He only likes making stuff. And so this is kind of my point, is if you want a good, well-researched, interesting show about being a well-rounded individual who loves technology, but who wants to return to ways of being more self-sovereign and learning how to like live off the land and be self-sufficient, then Making Stuff is your show. If you want... I don't have an answer for you. If you want whatever this is, then here I am, bitches. Okay, so let me bring up this kind of new feature with Peak D. For those of you who are in the Hive ecosystem, and for a lot of people who check out this show because they're in the NFT space or the music space, and they're kind of trying to figure out how Hive can be used as part of your tool set, whether that's sharing your music or sharing your art, or discovering that you can, post about your interests, meet people, start playing games, and then dive into all the other things that your account unlocks, whatever that may be. PeakD is probably one of the most important interfaces. And I was thinking about this morning while I was walking the dog, is how much we take for granted what PeakD and the feature set can do for us. But also, that I'm going to start calling it Peaked, because all of the cool apps out there are, one word and with a couple letters missing, and you're going to peaked me. Okay, fair enough. Okay. But so I'm going to start calling it Peaked because I want to pique people's interest. But I'm going to grab this post, and I'm going to kind of show you guys what's going on around this, because it is actually a really great idea. Now, this show, I've done quite a few episodes of this show dedicated to communities on Hive. How do we make them better? How do we use them effectively? And a lot of the stuff that sort of comes with communities. Everybody that's been here in the last year, 2 years, over the course of the legacy code base until now on Hive, knows that communities were such an exciting idea, and they are an exciting idea, and they're perfect for right now. Well, here, let me grab this post for you on what peaked. What do you guys call it? I'm curious to know. If you're in the community, what do you call it? You tell me. But here's the post for those of you who maybe missed it. Hey, Steve, good to see you, man. Here's the post on it, and it's talking about something called preferred topics. And there were some other changes as well, including chat channel subscriptions. And yeah, you know what? And Steve, that's okay, because we're starting to see great interfaces, different purpose-driven interfaces. We've got great desktop and mobile apps like eSync. Everybody does their Hive experience differently, and that's A-okay. But PeakD is there in the background, and I kind of want to highlight some of the stuff they're doing, just as the start of our show today, before we play some music and have kind of a chill day. I kind of want to talk about this a little bit, because I feel like these changes, while they feel really small, are actually really fucking important. So if you have been posting, it's been your go-to since Hive has been born, and a lot of people are starting to use things like Leo Finance, or they're getting involved in a community, and we're starting to see communities create their own front ends, which actually is fucking fabulous. And I still have in my mind that I'm going to create Forever Heavy, which will be, part of the community on chain, bringing heavy metal and creating like a zine style front end. This has always been, since the time we talked about it the first time, it's always been in the back of my head as something as I wanted to do. And so, as communities are evolving, if you've checked the developers meetings online, there's been a lot of talk about additional sort of features at the base code level for communities. Now is the time. There's a lot of bullshit going on around Reddit. It's really easy to have pages just disappear. Like, there's never been a more important time for communities. But what are some things that you guys, as people in the ecosystem or whoever's watching, that you hang out and that you see? What are some things that can go wrong with communities? Now, if you're not on Hive at all, which some of you who might be watching aren't, and that's okay. You could still learn something here and still give me your feedback. One of the problems with communities is you get really fucking excited. And yeah, interest on the HBD, that's something we can talk about today too. But I think that's something that it's probably going to change a little bit. It's probably going to be coded to change to interest on HBD only held in savings. And I suspect once that happens, there's going to be a really big, well, I don't just suspect, I know, because I'm going to have to be one of the people doing it. I suspect there's going to be a big push to really talk to exchanges about why this is really important. Let's get more listings. Let's talk to you about holding, funds in a savings and kind of really pushing HBD a lot. So I agree. I think it is overlooked a lot right now. And people are just kind of surprised surprised when they see a little HBD transaction. So yes, I'm going to dedicate myself to kind of helping with some of that as well. But let's come back to the topic at hand for now. Stever is got a great point. You know, places like Reddit or other sort of gated communities, you know, you see them and your face is smushed up at the glass and you want to post into them. Well, we also know that this is a problem on the Hive blockchain. So you've probably run into this in one place or another where you make a great post and you fucking love it and you're so excited, or you're a new user and you're like, look at this community. I want to post in this. Oh my God, I'm going to post in this community. And then you do. And a moderator is like, ooh, not a good fit. And they knock you back out of the community. We see this happen a lot. Now, part of this is because it's a big shift. It's a big shift. And it changes the way that we think about posting a lot of the time. You know, one of the things that we forget, hey, somebody's hanging out on Vim too. Hello to all of you. I hate waving to you because then the bingo wings go on camera and it's just, it's a lot. There's muscle there, I swear. Hey, Marky. Hey, Marky. But so it's a big shift when we think about the way that content on Hive has been for its first year, or arguably for the for the entirety of the time of the legacy code base. It's a fucking fire hose. You tag your content with whatever you want, you post it whatever you want, you reblog it whatever you want. It's just content everywhere. Right? That's the internet. It's the internet in a nutshell. But it's not super usable, and it's one of the reasons that we all got very excited about the potential of communities in general. Well, here we are a year later. We've had communities. We're using them. We're building them. Communities are taking off. Entire groups of people are hanging out, whether it's a front end or, you know, a niche or whatever. We have some communities that are fucking incredible. And some have kind of grown beyond their community and become front ends or more. You know, Marky runs STEM Geeks. We've got things like Leo that have taken off. The art communities are wild. And the more people that are discovering NFTs are starting to come into our ecosystem, the art communities are there and producing some of the most interesting content around the blockchain. So, with all that being said, we do know that people get excited. They want to post into a community, and maybe there aren't really great rules defined, or maybe people get really excited and don't necessarily super read the rules, or whatever. And yeah, photography is, you're right. Photography is always done well on the chain. I know this. And I do hope to get back to posting some photography someday. But the long and the short of it is it's not, the point that I'm trying to make at the moment is not necessarily which communities are the ones that you need to check out. But the point, where's the retards community? Oh. I mean, arguably, people not in blockchain would say anybody on blockchain, that's where that community is. But we know better, all of us here. And hi, everybody just joining us. Oh, hi, doggy. Hey, kid. You woke up, huh? Do you want to chew something? There you go. Do you want that? Maybe. So, where I am going with this, yes, the yelling community, we know about that in here. That's Azaria's baby, and the yelling community is great fun. Murphy's Bar is actually named after this dog right here behind me. So, long story short, tons of great fucking communities. And Stever's going, yeah, rules? I don't read the rules. And what that results in is community feeds that get diluted, or a lot of work for moderators, or, you know, the idea of building these healthy, flourishing communities around a topic, an idea, a tag, whatever, is that it's hard. It's more work. It's problematic. And in a lot of cases, you know, people don't do a great job of understanding tags or using communities effectively. And so PeakD has created preferred topics for communities. And they've actually made some changes to the way that they're implementing BChat as well. And I feel like both of these, especially for you guys here who are leaving your opinion, and those of you who are watching, I see tons of people hanging out on YouTube, so Hello. And Melinda, hey, yes. And Melinda, that's another great example, like the Feathered Friends community. Anybody and everybody is fascinated by burbs. Burbs are great. Smoke and Fire TV. Yes, my dog is nice. Look at him. He's cute. I'll get him to stand up and you guys can all look at him in a second. But everybody has a run-in with a big bird every now and again. And, you take pictures, you love it. It's one of the best things of your day, especially if you see a bird you don't see more often. So Melinda's built this fun, engaging, like vibrant, relatable community. Like everybody's got a bird somewhere that they were fucking happy to see. And in fact, one of my previous shows, there was this big, I'd never seen him before and I've never seen him since. This big giant red bird was sitting in the tree directly out the window, which is right in front of me here, staring at me, throwing me fucking shade while the show was on. And I was so like torqued out that I ended up taking a bunch of pictures of him after, and I totally hope to post them in the Feathered Friends community. Here's the asshole bird that, tried to throw me off my streaming game. But where I'm going with this is we often rely on live streams or Discord or chatting to kind of enhance the experience that we get posting on chain. So communities are important that way. We're starting to gather people in groups. People are making friends. People are finding interest. People are getting inspired to post by communities. Communities have been a great leap forward, but they haven't always been super duper useful in terms of really helping people understand why they exist or how to use them. Yes, exactly. The GIFs are flying in chat. But of course, the other thing is that, chats go along with community. And right now, where does that happen around the blockchain? We have a lot of great options, like the Wizard is listening. And I'm a little biased because we pay the bills for it. But, OpenHive.chat is this legacy chat system that we've rescued and is self-hosted and is connected to the blockchain and is verified by your keys and your identity. But where we end up is, of course, Discord. That's where we end up. I know it, you know it, I know, you know it, everybody knows it. And so we know that part of posting on the blockchain, using the blockchain, enjoying your Hive account is chat. It's social. We know that being social matters. Being social matters when you are playing games with people. It matters when you are reading someone's content and you're getting to know them and you're looking forward to the next thing that they produce. It matters when you are creating your first art NFT and you're getting out there and you're showing the people that what you make and why you make it, and they're resonating with your story and your art, and then they're going to buy from you, and vice versa. You're deciding you're going to start your art collection and you're going to browse NFTs and you start getting to know the artist. Yeah, exactly. Passively playing Splinterlands while listening to the show. But what we know is you can't have a social and information blockchain without a social and information sharing aspect behind it, right? So the post that I linked and that I will chat's fuckery. Chat is full of fuckery, and there was a level up on that. And I will indeed drink. We're getting down to the bottom of my bourbon bottle. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Just put your whips together and blow. But so there is a lot of reasons why we need these social aspects to the blockchain. Now, Gandalf is saying being social is overrated. That's fine. Like I said, your journey can be whatever you want it to be. You don't have to be social if you don't want to. But Gandalf, you know damn well that if I see you, I'm going to hug you, and you deal with it that way. Oh, God, inertia's on about my hair again. That's it. What did I say? I said that my hair was going to get more fucking ridiculous. God damn it. It's going to get more silly the more comments we have on it. So let's just knock this fucker forwards bigger a little bit. There. What do you think about that? Fuckers. All right, let me take this shot and let's... Even I can't look at this. This is bad. This is bad. All right, 1 second here. Ooh. Let's continue talking about being social. Okay. So, we were talking about social connections, and we were talking about how Peak D is finding ways to make communities more usable and to make people more able to be social around the Hive ecosystem. Right? It matters. I can't even look at myself on the stream. I don't know how you guys are doing it. I'm just waiting for the viewer numbers to drop. Just to plummet. Look at this hair. It's ridiculous. I look like Cindy Lou Who. So let's fucking focus, you bastards. No, I enjoy sipping. I enjoy sipping my bourbon with a nice piece of steak or in a good smoky cocktail. I don't like pounding a shot. I don't like pounding a shot for for the entertainment of people who will try to get me drunker and drunker so I'll act stupider and stupider. What can I say? All right, so listen. The post, the stuff, the chat. So preferred topics are something that you can set for your community. If you work in a community or you live in a community, you mod in a community, you post in a community. Preferred topics basically are there to, you can set it up and make it at the top of the actual community. So I'm going to show you guys, for those of you who are in the Discord, did I get more hair recently? No, I just normally pull it back and crumple it down so you can't see it. And this is exactly why. But so what happens is those tags actually show up when you are when you're browsing in the community, when you're looking at the feed, when you're getting ready to post. Those tags actually show up. Here are the preferred tags. Here are what we like to have posted in here. Here's what will, help your content. A good community will be able to pick tags that will help people get their posts seen more often. It's a lot of hair. Today's going to be a hair day. I'm just going to start playing music. My hair actually goes all the way down to my bum. And it's not, I don't actually have a lot of it. It's actually quite thin. But when it's curly, it looks voluminous. Voluminous. My God, we're never going to corral chat onto a good topic here. So these preferred topics actually can correspond. Let's get through this and then I swear we can get silly again. These preferred topics are super, super useful because they're going to help people start using tags more intelligently. And we've had shows on this. We've talked about this around Hive. How do you get your content seen? How do you tag to use a community properly? How do you create a cool feed? How do you help people see stuff that you want? Well, a community can make these preferred topics. So not only do you know when you come into a community, here's the kind of thing, here are the tags and the topics that this community is all about. And you see that while you're looking at the feed. This is helpful for a reader too, because if I'm going through this list and I'm like, ugh, animal photography, ugh, professional photography, ugh, I only want very amateur photography of rocks. This community is not for me. That's helpful. That's really helpful. And even better, these preferred topics will now show up down at the bottom on Peak D. So when you are making a post, and you're going, oh, I don't know what to post. I don't know what tags to use. Oh, what should I do? If you are posting in... You fuckers. If you are posting and you're like, I don't know what tags to use, here's a list of the tags that best fit this community. Just grab them, click on them, put them on your post. This is so, so smart. Rocks and tea cozies, bitches. So this is one thing that I think is really going to help. Now, the other thing that has happened is the idea of community chat channels. Now, here's the deal. We had the option to chat on-chain or kind of tied into the PeakD interface. But now one of the most important things probably in this new ecosystem and this new update for PeakD is community-based chats. And you can subscribe to chat channels. Now, if you haven't been using bchat, this is all new to you. If you have been using bchat, it's not that new. But again, this is something that... And yeah, the reality is you can do whatever you want. We're never going to take away the ability for someone to pick their own tags, Gandalf. Like, let's be realistic. There's always going to be that asshole who takes a picture of their own butt and then tags it core development, community charity, NFT drop, educational content, and, super lit fire cartoon. Like, the reality is you're never going to be able to control tags. All we could do is we could guide people towards success. Because at the end of the day, they're going to feel better when people see and read and comment on their shit. Oh, Lord. So here's the deal. We now have chat channels that actually correspond directly to communities. You can subscribe to these chat channels. And so one of the things that's always happened is you have to go off to a Discord and there's a community there and then you comment on the chain and then the nice thing about bchat probably being integrated in PeakD, which it has been for a while now, but starting to really focus on the community aspect is think about forums. Let's kind of think about that. For some of you guys, you might be too young, but if you're not, did you spend time on a forum of any sort growing up or in your first forays into the internet? Did you use Reddit? Did you use something awful? Did you use like an old fucking Chan? Did you use some sort of like old like BBS kind of were you playing a mud? Crim's hair once bit my sister. It did not. If you stick your hand in it, then you volunteered for whatever happens to you when you do it. Warrior Forum, okay, yeah. Witty Live Journal, yes, making stuff. So you guys remember this, and often what would happen is you would send messages back and forth, you would use the main forum, you would make a top-level post, you would chat in the comments, you would get to know people, but inevitably you would send like a private message or a DM, pre-MySpace, pre-Facebook, exactly. You'd send a message or a DM, and you'd start getting to know people, whether it was because you wanted to meet them as a person, you wanted to learn something from their post, whatever. That having that sort of inertia, I feel like is using Banjo's slap command to randomly generate scenarios where people are getting eaten by my hair. But so long story short, because I recognize that obviously chat's in silly mood today, here is a great option for you. I highly, highly, highly would recommend that you check it out. There are a lot of great interfaces. Like I said, eSency's got some of the best search around. We've got great apps. But this change to PeakD is starting to guide newer users and existing users and communities especially into becoming really useful gathering places, useful forums, places you can chat. And for us, a lot of the time, we always knew people avoided coming to Hive because it didn't have the great features. It didn't have a great layout. It didn't make a lot of sense. Posting without help was hard. But in this case, you're starting to really get incentives for a community to be built in a way that's clear, strong, that has a sort of really defined purpose for existing. You got a bunch of tools that start getting people more and more likely to post in a way that shapes and fits the community, to post and chat in a way that gets them meeting more people and discovering more content and discovering more other users. And at the end of the day, that's what we need. That's absolutely what we need. So, all right. Peak T, Peak D, Peaked, Deek P, Peak Shmee. What about Shmee? So, good. Good. The focus is good. I see more people are joining us on YouTube. People are watching everywhere. Vim, Twitch, Trovo, Theta, MSPWaves.com, and here in the Discord. My name is Crimsonclad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. And we hang out here on Saturdays, and we're starting to move away from talking only about Hive, but we talk about disruptive technology. We love this synthwave, cyberpunk aesthetic, and we have a lot of fun. The community gets chatting. Hey, Shub, we were talking about this earlier. If you've got any posts or information about some of the stuff you've been doing this week on Oreo, please drop it in chat. We talked about that at the start of the show. And I'm going to take a very short break. I'm going to play a quick track for you guys. We're going to play some synthwave because I said I was going to play a lot of music today. And for some of you, it's the only reason you're here. And for some of you, you wish I would never play music again. And the reality is I don't care what you want. And that's how that's going to be. So let me just see what I can find. Let me find some good music for you. And we'll come back and we'll chat a little bit more. I wanted to get your guys' opinions on newbie night stuff. I was thinking we'd do some open mic stuff, which will probably be dominated by Ron and people making fun of my hair. And just some more cozy chat. Because like I said, the dog is behind me, completely asleep. I'm sitting in my chair like a schlump instead of standing normally. It's a drizzly Saturday here in Vancouver, Canada, and I appreciate that you decided to come hang out with me. So I'm gonna play a track called We Are One and the Same by an artist called Dead Life. And it's off an album called City of Eternal Rain. I'm not saying that that's like future 2099 Vancouver. But in the spring, it definitely feels like the City of Eternal Rain. It's beautiful. It's aesthetic. All I need is a fucking flying car and shit. This is CyberBuzz Radio. My name's Crimsonclad, and you're listening to MSP Waves. Oh yeah. We gonna go music? Maybe? little bit of a musical interlude. A group called Dead Life, the track called We Are One and the Same. I am called Crimsonclad, and this show is called CyberBuzz Radio. It has been fucking silly today. Fucking silly for the first hour. We thought, I thought that this live stream would be a nice chill chat, all of us, educational, talking a little bit about community features and what Peak D is doing. That's not the way it has gone. So, but I welcome you all for being here, and I hope you're having a little bit of fun. I see lots of people all over the places to watch, and that's super fucking cool. If you haven't already decided that you're going to spend the rest of your life with me, go ahead, make that fucking commitment, follow wherever you're following, and come back next week, because it'll probably be an actual good show with like a good interview and like good fun people like we did last week, or this week is just a palate cleanser, shall we say. But so I'm super happy to have all you guys. And we started off talking the show about last week's interview with the Oriole team. And now we have Shub here. Oh, Inertia, what have you done? So here's the thing. I am always terrified. Let's talk about this. We're going right off track. But you know what? Gosh darn it. So we have had shows here on this part, this particular, look at my dog is so lazy. If you're just listening to the audio, this won't make sense to you, but that crinkle is the treat bag. And my dog is so lazy, he doesn't even lift his head anymore. He just expects the treat to fly directly into his mouth as he lays here where you may gaze upon his magnificence here in chat. Yes, Make It Stuff is commenting on my mug. My mug is very Canadian. Sorry. And then if you look on the inside, there's a Canadian maple leaf. The reality is I'm not actually that sorry, but if I have this mug, then you'll just assume that I am appropriately sorry. No, but let's talk about this. This is a topic that comes up on the show a bunch, and I am unsure of how I feel about these. So there are a lot of generative networks and apps that are powered by AI and neural nets. And this is so common now. If you are following pretty much anything to do with selfies or video or art, this is really common. We're starting to get AI that's powerful enough and tuned enough that it can be loaded up in an app and can do crazy things to pictures and video and faces. And so one of the ones that's out there, of course, that has been out there for ages is the Face app. And so if you're looking in the Discord, Inertia has posted a Face app altered image. And I always find it incredibly interesting how a computer is going to interpret what I need to look like. Now, this is something that is coming up a lot in our space, and we're going to see it a lot in the art space especially. So NFTs are a big fuck-off exciting thing, and we know that. We're early adopters of crypto. We're early adopters of blockchain. Like, yeah, we fucking know that. But in the NFT space, things that are network generated or have AI enhancements or have been filtered are really common. There's this tie between the cyberpunk and like neon noir aesthetic. The idea that we are enhanced and shaped by computers that we're starting to see get really, really popular. And they're starting to get loaded into every phone right off the bat. And this Face app one, obviously is collecting a bunch of facial recognition data. So, this might be kind of treading into a making stuff topic here for a second, but let's do it. Let's do it anyhow. And that is that a lot of sort of future tech and a lot of the tech that we see in dystopian visions of a future Earth comes down to facial recognition, holograms, sort of the idea that computers, surveillance, cameras, and the way that they understand a picture, words, our faces, and can manipulate that is a giant, scary threat. And so this is something that I've always struggled with because these apps are so fun, and that's why they take off, you know? Here is this app, and in what setting is that? I have to ask. Hey, Alpha Chino, it's so good to see you. Yes, Lawyer Cat is a great example. Yes, Viking Adventurer. Here we are in the pandemic. Everybody's doing Zoom calls. We're all live streaming. And in fact, maybe before the next break, I could turn off this camera and I could put on Snapcam and I could have some sort of filtered version of my face. But this is the reality is we're saying, hey, I could look a little better. It would be more fun if my face was a cat. You know, it would be more interesting if my Zoom call had, you know, floating whatevers around me. And so we are starting to see, oh my God, what are these? So is this a hairstyle setting, Inertia? That's full Merida right there. That version. This one looks like a Karen. So if you're watching on one of the other things, I'm actually going to put one of these on the overlay so everybody can see what a computer thinks my hair should look like. But so how do you guys feel about this? Because this is something that I keep in mind a lot of the time, because as someone who does a lot of live streaming and who has a ton of available video content, and for somebody who is fully immersed in the blockchain world and everywhere else, OPSEC matters. I think about this a lot, you know, for someone who is working on building up a hefty crypto portfolio, but who also really values their personal space and their sort of anonymity in a world that constantly wants every detail about you. How do I feel about apps like this? And how do I feel knowing that I am essentially feeding every algorithm in the world all of my expression data, my facial data, my hand movements, the way I talk, the inflection and the intonation of my voice? A little scary. It's a little scary. So I'm always interested to see, oh, well, I'm a very handsome man. But I'm always interested to see what FaceApp thinks, because often FaceApp does the very hilarious, like, you should smile more, and just like rips my fucking jaw off and slaps a giant terrifying smile on my face. And I'm unsure how I feel about it, even though I know that a lot of this information is really fun and drives technology that is probably going to be really useful and impactful in the future. It's also a cautionary tale, because this is going to be some Blade Runner bullshit that is eye tracking. It knows where you're looking. It's going to project the fucking, you know, mind data about your interests. It's going to project an ad that only you can see in the street in front of you in a hologram that's going to talk to you. It's going to look like one of your friends or your dead grandma. Like, it's a little terrifying, I have to say. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. This has nothing at all to do with Hive, but who fucking cares? That's what this show is about. So as the chat fills up with, you know, murder versions of my face manipulated by a computer, how do you guys feel about this? Do you think it's really fun? Do you think it's mostly harmless? Do you think a lot of these concerns are overblown? Do you think they're not treated seriously enough? Should I be immensely concerned that deepfake crims are going to take over the neural net? You know. Yeah, making stuff. This is a really good point. And this is something that all of us kind of have to keep in mind as blockchain users, and especially when we are deciding to use social media. Social media is this scary, huge part of our life that drives the idea of connection and sharing and content creation. But it also drives us to provide more content, more data. And it drives us to actually, yes, the lure is making it fun while collecting your data. Ain't that the truth? So knowing that you shouldn't have to cut yourself off from the world, and knowing that social media actually can be incredibly awesome and empowering. Look at the communities that we're building. Look at this show right now. This is technically social media. Technically, every platform I'm streaming through is probably listening and analyzing my words, and it's free, and you can watch it again, and there's bots crawling YouTube who are learning. But at the same time, would I know making stuff? Would I get to know Patient Zero? Would I get to interact with Alpha or Inertia? Would I get to meet Shub and the stuff that he's working on? Or Stever? Would we have these conversations? Would I then get to meet, Witty in person on the other side of the world? Or Viking Adventure? Will I be going for a hike with him and my dog tomorrow? And so you can't say that social media is inherently bad or evil or that we don't need it. But being aware of how we use it, what it can do and how it shapes the way that we behave is so important. And so whenever I see these little apps and filters and whatever, I think, someday that's not only going to change my hairstyle. Someday that's going to do something terrible. And I have to say, I don't love and relish the idea of that. But I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on it. All right. So one of the things that I did say was a possibility today was if you guys wanted to do some open mic chat, if somebody wanted to come on air and had a topic they wanted to talk about, that's also cool. We could totally do that. And if not, then I do have some more stuff I want to look at because I'm obviously neck deep in the NFT space. I do indeed. I love Hive. I love Bitcoin. I love crypto. I love the cyberpunk aesthetic. I like the idea. I like the look of wet streets and dirty concrete and reflecting neon and, ominous surveillance drones and turned up jacket collars as you duck from a furtive corner to a furtive corner on the way to your flying car. Like, I love all of this. It doesn't necessarily mean I want to live it, but the aesthetic and the inspiration and the way that this future aesthetic has kind of developed from our desires and our fears and the things we find beautiful and the parts of humanity that we think are so interesting. We had a whole show on this, the sort of aesthetic of future design. So I'm really focused on trying to use Hive in a way that really helps people who are interested in NFTs and even more specifically in NFTs to do with art. I think art is one of those parts of humanity that is something that cannot be taken away. It cannot be killed. And the idea of kind of liberating that from a traditional economic system is very important to me. So what this means is I'm getting to know really interesting, oh my God, Inertia, what filter is that? What's happening there? Do I wish that I look like that? Hey, Verushal, good to see you, man. I'm Mel. Hi. Subscribe to your channel. Oh, okay. What filter is that? That is like the Simpsons filter of like the makeup gun, and just like, man, if I could look like even half of these filters look, my God, I get it. I totally fucking get it. I do. I want to look like that. And there it is, friends. This is absolutely a part of how we get got, I'm a nice looking lady with a nice looking dog, but that filter makes me look like a sex bomb and I didn't do shit. I want to look like that all the time. Dangerous world we're living in. Okay, so let's have another palate cleanser because we're at the top of the hour. 1 hour of the show has elapsed. 1 hour of the show is yet to go. And I kind of transitioned towards this NFT talk for a reason. Part of that is because I want to pick your guys' brains after the break. And I also, I want to talk a little bit about sort of something old that's new again. And we've had some discussions on this show about old, like the aesthetics of like old 70s novels, the covers of them in sci-fi. And we've talked a lot about the evolution of what the future looks like. You guys might remember that episode where we talked about why everything in the future gotta be like shiny and clean. Well, why gotta be like that? So I want to talk for a little bit more on this topic after a song, but let's do some goddamn synthwave. And there's so much stuff that I want to put in your ears, and there's so much new music coming out today. And there's actually there's so many live streams today as well. And in fact, Ollie Ride is doing a live stream today. And the Synthwave community is so vibrant in terms of putting together really cool like online meetups. So there's lots of stuff that I wanna put in your ears. And it's just really about deciding what the heck that will be. So one of the things that I thought I might do is I might grab something from Makeup and Vanity Set, because I really enjoy a lot of the work they do. They have taken a lot of different approaches to Synthwave, and they've created a bunch of really cool ambient soundtracks for movies and games. But I do something from early on. I'm going to play you a track that, you know, has a little bit of my aesthetic in it. It's called I Am Become Death. This is CyberBuzz Radio. My name is Crimsonclad. Today, not a very streamlined day. Not a good plan for content today. We're riffing off chat. We've been talking about terrible facial filters, building communities and chat around great platforms on the Hive blockchain, and more to come. But, you know, some Synthwave. I Am Become Death. So, hi. Oh, I played the music and a bunch of people got a bounce. All right, so hey, welcome. My name is Crimsonclad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. I just played some Makeup and Vanity set for you. Played some Dead Life earlier. This show is it's a lot of random stuff. But today I love that kind of aesthetic. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about sort of moving into some of the stuff. Yeah, I did want to use your alien filter again. That's exactly what I was saying above. I wanted to be Julia's Cyber Geisha. I was actually testing out getting the Snap camera set up. Well, the problem is, let's put it this way. The problem is when I'm streaming, I am using the feed for this camera, and it's quite labor intensive because it's a good feed. It's a good feed. It's high res. And so what that means is I would actually have to turn it off, deactivate it, and then set up the Snap camera. Well, it's actually activated in multiple scenes. And for me to go through all the scenes and deactivate them, the problem becomes is I would have to flip over to full force radio scenes. I would have to go through all that. And unfortunately, I am not prepared to do that because I'd have to flip over, then the overlay would change to full force radio. It would be a whole thing. So yeah, we'll do a coming show where I will make sure to use the Snap camera. But there's something certainly pretty off-putting about it. And so this is the thing. And Julia makes a lot of really cool filtered art. She's using a lot of sort of photo moshing techniques. It is complicated. It's basically my camera as it stands right now makes an output like a video feed. And if that video feed is being used by any other application, Snap camera can't use it. Is the long and the short of it. And you know what? Don't tell me what to do, Snap camera. Fuck you. But yes, so actually, before we kind of move into some of the NFT talk that I wanted to, NFT talk is not perfect, but some of the talk that I wanted to have around the idea of artwork in the crypto space and sci-fi artwork and that sort of thing. I'll touch on this. I will. I'll touch it. I'll touch right on it. And that is recently, you guys probably saw this. Filters, from kind of picking up before the break. Well, it's nothing to do with my computer not being able to handle it, PZ. It's actually a restriction of Snap camera. If Snap camera is consuming your visual feed, it won't let any other program take that unedited visual feed, and vice versa. It doesn't want to compete with any other program. If you are going to be using a camera, you must use SnapCam. It's very demanding, and I think you all know how I handle demands in general. Poorly. Very fucking poorly. So, this is something that, hi cutie, this is something that's coming up a lot. Look at this side eye from my dog back here. The shade of it all. Do you want a tube? You don't even want a tube. What's going on? Who are you? So one thing that I thought I might mention here, because it's coming up a lot now, is people using filters and building entire followings and content based around filters and avatars. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing for somebody who wants to maintain good OPSEC or who, wants to play a character. This is becoming really, really popular. And in fact, there's a Twitch streamer out there who does absolutely nothing but like D&D streams wearing a lewd avatar that is computer generated on the fly, that matches her body movements, that overlays her face and her body. And her viewers, actually using different technology or using donations, can change things like the graphics on her shirt, or the outfit. She's a sexy nun, but next she's gonna be a sexy barmaid or whatever. And so there are some really interesting and also kind of terrifying ways of using this. But at the same time, I actually know, hey Oz, I actually know lots of streamers who are using this because they find, hey, this is a really great way to allow me to be on camera, but maybe to not expose my face to the world. So I'm gonna, Code Miko, you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. She's, She is right at the forefront of things. Say what you want about it. I may get, clutch your pearls if you gotta. She's doing nudie content. She's being sexual on the internet. And she is. But she's also really got her finger on the pulse of what is interesting and terrifying and engaging, and the things that are kind of really posing important questions for us. Do we want to watch a real human anymore? Do we think it's cooler knowing that this avatar can do or be anything that we want? And also, do we know, yes, sex sells, absolutely, no doubt. As long as you make your hair ridiculous, then no one will think you are sexy, and then you will not sell shit. But there's no doubt that that's the case. But certainly there are streamers now too who use avatars. In fact, actually, Crystal, I often watch when Oz and Crystal stream, Modern Warfare or whatever, she's got a really cute, fun little avatar. And, if it's a day where you're not really feeling like showing your face, or you want to keep your OPSEC or whatever the case may be, you can have a little avatar, and it still conveys your facial expressions and where you're looking and what you're doing. But at the same time, it's not you. It's a version of you. It's the you that you want to portray. And that's kind of empowering as well. And so we're caught in this weird intersection. So Megan Stuff has dropped an image in chat, which I think is so interesting. So here she is in her full CG avatar glory. And, it's got somebody like Spoopy2 Gas on her shirt, because that's the highest donator who, paid money to have his name, or her name, I'm not gendering anyone, across the tits of this, universally watched and loved avatar. It's wild. It's wild. Yeah, she's the first to do this. She's got a whole team that works with her. It's really cool and interesting technologically, even if you're not interested in a titty streamer. There is some real interest here. And her streams, whether you like it or not, and whether you're interested in robo titties, which you may not be, and that's totally fine. Her streams are these huge, huge things. Multiple cameras, different team members, different programs creating different angles of this avatar. Multicam setup like D&D games where she's got a live person who is the dungeon master, and a virtual tabletop showing the layout, and then also her. And it's weird. It's not invalid, but it certainly is. It goes to show you that whether we like it or not, this is something that interests us. But let's swing back around now that we've touched on that, because I'm sure I will. I'm sure I can do at least one one CyberBuzz live stream with some filters. I don't know. I avoid it when I can. I think it's fair that you guys see me as I am, even though some days it's not good. Some days it's got the chicken bun on top of my head. Some days my camera falls down and it's looking up my nose and I'm double chinned, or my hair is greasy. Like, that's my style. Everybody else's style is going to be different. You see me as I am, and that's not always great. And sometimes it's okay. Some days I'll look really fucking hot, and that's okay. But where I wanted to go with this, and when I was talking a little bit about moving towards the NFT space, is because obviously I'm part of the team for NFT Showroom. And one of the things that's really important to me is helping more people discover, collect, buy. If they don't want to enter into the economy around the NFT system, I do believe that NFTs are making collectibles and art and music and creative pursuits interesting again. And that is something that to me is really important, because we don't consume enough art in our lives. We don't consume enough music. We don't get to know and hear and see enough of what other people are expressing. And so for me, the NFT craze is a craze, but there are such solid bones there that it's so important to me. And the Hive blockchain is an absolutely fabulous fit. So NFTs right now, we think of a lot, and what we're seeing in the ETH ecosystem, there are three sort of really branches that are really taking off. And one is the collectibles. And collectibles are tied to moments or people or things in real life, kind of like a Beanie Baby, you know? Or like what we're seeing a lot of is sports cards now. Celebrities are getting into it, and it's a great... there is a craze. There's absolutely a craze to go behind this. But it started without the craze. And that's the thing that I think is really important to remember, is that NFTs were doing just fine before they took off. People in the ecosystem and people who understand crypto, whether they decided to participate or not, you got it. You understood the idea of that token. And now that's moving broader and broader outside of the crypto ecosystem. It's a good thing, but there's a craze for sure, and it's going to pull back. With that being said, I don't care if you buy or create NFTs. I don't care if you think it's stupid because you can right-click save as. I don't mind however you feel about this, but I do like the idea that it's reminding people that artists, whether it's traditional art, digital art, music, collectibles, meme generators, 3D renderers, the people who create art should probably be paid for it. And I also like the idea that it reminds people that simply admiring stuff that they find beautiful is valuable. And that's something that we've lost a lot of, physical gallery spaces, not super relevant anymore. And certainly kind of getting out and engaging with people face to face. We've stopped really just like looking at things we find beautiful, listening to things we find beautiful. And NFTs are kind of reminding people that that matters. Now, the only reason I bring this up is because we've been in the ecosystem a long time. Now, some of you guys, it started as a colored Bitcoin. Yeah. Absolutely. And so there's that first branch of NFTs, collectibles. And the second branch is, fine art or musical pieces, and that idea of ownership of an expensive piece of fine workmanship. That's number 2. A lot of art in this space. Fabulous. Number 3 is ways of kind of creating unique technological assets. And one of the, it won't disappear. Ingenuity, I can tell you with all of my being, my guts, my soul, NFTs will not go away. This is absolutely going to shape the attention economy. If you believe that in the future, the way that you interact with a brand or with a celebrity or with a content creator doesn't sort of retain some aspects of what we're seeing with NFTs now, you're crazy. Where this is kind of pushing so hard and so fast and so explosively right now, when it settles, it's going to settle to a more reasonable level. But this Pandora's box has been opened, and the idea of provable, traceable, immutable, transactable ownership and value, that's not going away. There's no way. But so the third thing is generative assets, technological assets. So we're seeing a lot of, I'm going to create a piece of code and it's going to create 20 unique versions of a blank, like the CryptoPunks, those ETH CryptoPunks or Moon Kitties or whatever. There are reasons that we're interested in it above and beyond scarcity. There's an aspect of, I'm going to write some code, but I'm not fully in control of the outcome that we find really romantic and interesting, and we obviously attach significance to that. I didn't create this. I created the parameters for this, and now check it out. Look at this super cool, unique punk, or this really interesting mashup of other artists, or whatever. So generative art, things that take math or algorithms and put them into an audible or a visual sense, that's really popular too. And the reason that I bring this up is twofold. And one is, I'm really interested in getting a lot of these people to come check out the Hive ecosystem because Hive suits them really well. Now, whether they're selling on ETH or on Hive doesn't bother me. You can do everything. You can use the tools that are best for you. But knowing that a lot of artists struggle to build a website, show off a portfolio, meet other artists, they can get deplatformed because some of the work that they make might be either too provocative or, too derivative or whatever. Hive is a great fit. And I'm going to be doing a sort of NFT angled newbie night. And so I thought, for you guys here who are no longer newbies, do you have thoughts on questions or sort of comments or things that you think it would be really good to help a newbie learn? Now, one of the ones that came up this morning while I was helping somebody in another server was the idea of dirty NFTs, those goddamn pollution spewing, world ending, fucking climate change producing pieces of art that the blockchain shits out and, people collect and then the birds drop out of the sky dead. So that's one that I'm going to be kind of going over and touching on. But is there anything else that you guys can think of that would, in your travels and in your infinite wisdom as no longer newbies, that you would think would be really kind of something that you would tell somebody outside the ecosystem? Now, while you guys are thinking about that, I did kind of want to bring up, I was saying everything old is new again. And I've brought this up on the show before, but one thing that I've noticed is this is a site that I follow. And, from when I was very young and I first saw heavy metal till now, heavy metal has existed. And, often the tie is actual heavy metal. Look at how beautiful that is. I love it. I don't know what this is, but it's beautiful. That painting is fabulous. So heavy metal, you guys probably remember the movie and we always bring it up and it's something that shaped me as a kid. God, I loved the imagery. It was not super appropriate for a little kid. And, here we are. Decades later, Elon Musk is launching a Tesla with the spaceman in it. Everybody thinks that's him and he's so cool and interesting. Hey, Clay! And he's so, so different. And it's like, nah, man, that's an homage to heavy metal. This is the original sci-fi, dark art magazine. And it's come back into my periphery again, obviously, because I love it and I love to read and watch articles and the artwork. But one of the things that I've found really interesting is, especially recently, heavy metal has been featuring and tapping artists who are becoming well-known in the NFT ecosystem. And part of that is because these artists are drawn to a lot of the things that we love about crypto, sci-fi and robotics and distant landscapes and strange and neon and, these mashup, photo bashed, digital paintings or 3D renders. And so we're starting to see a lot of these aesthetics from people like me who grew up with these influences, who are now in the NFT space putting that art out into the world. And here's heavy metal 30 fucking years later picking them up and still iterating through this. And so, if you're somebody who has been really enjoying crypto art or the NFT space or a lot of what's happening around ETH and around Hive and, this incredible art that has been going out, I highly, highly recommend that you keep an eye on heavy metal, because I have been seeing some really incredible artists who I am maybe not surprised, but I'm a little shocked to see some of these artists being featured on heavy metal and a bunch of really cool articles, and people who are then moving into the ecosystem and producing really incredible, beautiful NFTs. And this is interesting to me because in a lot of cases, I thought, I'm going to have to buy the heavy metal magazine, or, I'm going to have to figure out how to get a print shop. And now, no, things are changing, things are different. And the more things change, the more they stay the same. Here is a staple of everything weird and wonderful and beautiful and sci-fi from my childhood that is still right on the finger, has its finger on the pulse of what is weird and wonderful and beautiful and sci-fi now. And as somebody who so appreciates what's happening in the crypto space and real cypherpunks and, burgeoning actual cyberpunks and all of the things that converge in the space that we're in, it's fucking cool. It's fucking cool. Yeah, tank art. My tank is fight. All right, so let me play one more track, and then we're coming up. We got only about half an hour left in the show. I've been talking my face off. We started the show talking a little bit about Oriole app, and now a bunch of the team members are here. So if you have questions, comments, if you enjoyed last week's episode, then feel free to leave some feedback. Check out and kind of get in on the Oriole podcasting app now before it continues its rise to becoming a really awesome monetizable podcasting app built in the Hive ecosystem. And then we started talking a little bit more about what a lot of you guys who come to the show weekly are interested in, which is Hive. Does this lady ever take a breath? No, I never shut up. That's why you usually mute me and walk away. I will say, since you guys have all been beaking my hair and the dog is asleep and I'm sitting and we're just having a super chill day today and everybody's filtering my face and whatnot, I will say that I've certainly learned a lot about conversing with myself in doing 4 years of this live stream. I've learned a lot about how to shape conversation with myself, in being confident in airing and expressing the things I think, even knowing that you guys will make fun of me and laugh at me. So, after 4 years, and here we are, and dozens and dozens of you come to watch every week and be a part of the show every week. A big thank you, because you have made me better. Even the times where you actually drive me to cry live on air, you've made me better, and you've honed some skills of mine. And hopefully in return, every now and again, once in a while, maybe you learn something, or you at least have a little fun. Maybe. I hope. So after all that, we talked a little bit about communities around the Hive ecosystem. We talked about what PeakD is doing to really expand them, make them better, and sort of why chat and better focused communities is really important, not only for our ecosystem, but for users and for people who are just looking for a home right now. And how that's probably going to shape crim shaping. Crim shaping, I want to say, is like all tits up. Or maybe pear-shaped, a little pear-shaped. Isn't that a good terminology? Crim shaping is a lot of bumps. That's what crim shaping is. There's so many bumps, guys. Just heckin' bumps. Yeah. Qua still he'll never talk to me. He's never come on the show. He's never chatted with me in chat. He's never invited me to do an AMA. In fact, Qua basically hates me, and that's fine. So, what else? Then we talked a little bit about art and NFTs. We talked, I dropped the idea in chat, but nobody really gave any feedback yet about things to talk about for a newbie night. Specifically for people who maybe are like, I heard that Beeplit sold $20 bajillion worth of Donald Trump renders. How do I be a Beeplit? What do you talk to these people? What do you say? What can I teach? What is something that you still want to learn about? So keep it in the back of your mind. Please give me your feedback. And we'll go from there. And then finally, just for this last segment was, I have been so happy to see some of these really cool crypto artists and sci-fi artists getting recognition in Heavy Metal Magazine. And the website looks good, and the images look good, and people are starting to sell more art, and there are these cool, fabulous, interesting sci-fi fantasy pieces that are getting recognition from a magazine that existed, before I was born. And here it is, and it's still finding a way to be an arbiter of taste and culture in a completely new world with completely new technology. And God damn it, I think that's fucking cool. So, my name is Crimsonclad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. Next week is Easter. So, what do you guys think? I don't really want to. Oh, yeah, that's right. Inertia, we got told this morning we're not allowed to bully Qua anymore, which is very silly. And I will continue because he bullies me. So there. Whatever people tell you, whatever your mama told you, somebody bully you, bully them back. Don't do that. Be kind. You can be anything. In today's world, you can be any goddamn thing. So you know what? Be kind. It's a good thing to be. Or be a dog. Be a sleepy dog. Because that looks pretty fucking good right now. All right, so let's let's get ready for the end of the show. I will consider open mic. Anything you guys want to talk about, anything you guys want me to talk about, questions, comments, things you want answered. Otherwise, yeah, it's Easter next week. So that means it's like a double long weekend, which is cool. And for many of you in the crypto space or in the art space or in the internet space or in the pandemic space, that doesn't mean shit. What does a long weekend mean anymore? You don't care. Fuck it. But if it does mean something to you, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it worth having a show? Are you going away? Will you be spending time with family? Because whether or not you're religious, and this is going to become a whole touchy thing, hey, you get a long weekend. It's a great time to observe time for yourself, time with your family, time with people you love, just to get outside, time away from the regular routine. It's valuable. So let's not go too far down that rabbit hole of kill the rabbit and eat the meat. Yeah. Let's not go too far down the rabbit hole of the actual religious aspect. And let's just say, well, for a lot of people, you are going to, you're going to get a long weekend. What are you going to do with it? Going where in lockdown world? Well, here for me, 9, I know, you know a lot about parts of Canada. For me, I can go pretty much anywhere. So I'm actually going to go hiking. But the reason I bring this up is because I have some cool interviews coming up. There's so many people who want to start sharing their work, talking about music and art and technology on this show. And so I have, hey, a liger. You're a liger? It's my favorite animal. I have so many people who want to come on this show, talk about what they're doing and like have a good jam. I've got some really great stuff lined up, but I'm wondering if next week is a good week for it. So do you have plans? Would you show? Do you care? Do you literally just come here because you pity me? These questions and more answered on this episode of CyberBuzz Radio. My name is Crimsonclad. Let me find some music for you. Let me find some fun music. What should we do? Should we do some Highway Superstar? What should we do? Let's go way back. I have not played Betamax for a long time for you guys. Maybe I should grab something by Betamax. Let's grab something random by Betamax. All right, I'm going to play a track. What am I going to play for you guys? I like a lot of Betamax. I'm going to play a track called Guided by Moonlight. My name is Crimsonclad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. A lot more music than normal. Not as much music as I expected. I thought I was just going to play nothing but music. But it turns out, no, we're going to talk. Now you guys going to beak me? My hair is stupid. Everything's stupid. But I hope you're having fun. The show's not over yet. We have got a little bit more than half an hour. So we'll be back. More talk after this. And then, of course, maybe at least one more track before the show is over. Okay, so. Oh, my name is Crimsonclad. I was briefly visited by the spirit liger. I was briefly possessed by the spirit of Cousin It there because everybody... Jesus. I Cousin Itted for you. So there you go. Now my hair's a fucking mess. Oh my God. But it's fine. We're in the last hour, last half hour, last 20 minutes. I don't fucking know. Where are we? What time it is? How did I get here? Who put this pudding in my pants? I thought I saw Acid jump in, so hello. And welcome, it's CyberBuzz Radio. So we covered a lot of ground today. It's been kind of a silly one. People are having a lot of fun. It's been a shit show. What else is new? We talked a little bit about last week's... You want some of my hair too? Yeah, I mean... You know, here's the deal. Like I said, it looks like a lot of hair, but when you really get down to it, it's actually really not. There's not very much hair. It just looks like a lot. It just looks like there's a lot going on, but I promise you, it's not. So, oh, goodness gracious me. All right, so let's try and focus for the last little bit. I Cousin Itted for you, and I hope you're very pleased. Yeah, so I am working on a lot of art. I'm working on a lot of stuff. My hair looks green screened. Why? What is wrong with you people? This is my hair. This is my actual fucking hair. I don't know if you can see it because I can't see the camera. Look, there it is. You can check for roots. You can look for what this is my fucking hair. I don't know what to tell you guys. You're looking for the lace front on my wig. On my weave! But so here's the deal. We talked a little bit about last week's interview. We talked a little bit about upcoming interviews. We talked a little bit about community features and Peak D and why and how these are really fucking cool things that will help us build more community around the Hive blockchain. We talked about how those could be more useful for people who don't know anything about the Hive blockchain. We moved into brainstorming ideas for NFT Newbie Night. Absolutely nothing came of it. It was a horrific failure. What else is new? I was Cousin It. We talked about AI tech and filters and some of the weird and uncomfortableness. The hair extensions. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Can you imagine? I would love to have holographic hair. That's one of those things. Okay, you know in The Fifth Element, I wanted all the technology from The Fifth Element. You know that thing that looked like a glasses case that she just like put on her eyes and it was like, and then she had like perfect makeup? Or like the chick at the desk who had the pencil sharpener but for your fingers and it changed the color of her nail polish. I want all of the holographic or future technology. I want all of it because I am a terrible human and upkeep of myself as a human is hard and I'm lazy. I want all of the future technology. You know what? Fuck it. Put a filter on my face all the time. Just fix it all. My hair, yeah, absolutely. Make that shit a hologram. Whatever. It's great. But so chat is a disaster. It's good. I love it. I love you guys, but fuck me. Okay, so what's Fifth Element? I'm 16. Oh, God, why? So, I also have some questions about NFT Newbie Night and can we build a good one and what would that look like and what do you guys want to talk about? What would you want in terms of helping people learn, that sort of thing. Also, super failure. So, with all that being said, we've now come to, the last little bit of the show. And so I'm leaving it here for you guys. Is there anything that you want to talk about? Does anybody want to come on air that, it's going to be Ron, and Ron's not actually going to want to talk about anything, but he is going to want to come on air. Is there anything? Don't feed the trolls, Viking Adventure. Is there anything that you guys want to touch on today before the end of today's show? It has been a gooder, and I'm excited for the stuff that's up and coming. There will be more music. There will be more artists, hopefully talking to more people with cool projects. Ron says, let me on the air. Okay, Ron, come on over. Come on over. I didn't realize somebody server muted me. Let me unserver mute myself. One sec. This channel has special permissions. What? I can't unmute myself? Ridiculous. There we go. All right, Ron. Get in here then. Talk a big fucking game. Get in here. Ron says, let me on air. What do you want? He's not saying anything. Come on, Ron. Come on, Ron. You can hear me. I can see myself lighting up. This is a you problem, not a me problem. It literally shows your microphone is muted. How is HIV inflated? Well, we could talk a little bit about... Oh, Christ. You're muted, Ron. This is dumb. This is dumb. Forget it. Open mic is over. Ron ruined everything. Yeah, it's not working. All right, let me reset my settings because that's always one of those things. And I don't know why he's muted. He's muted. Here. Well, everybody can hear me except Ron. So when this happens, you go back and you clicked input device default, and then all of a sudden it magically works again. Why is that? I don't fucking know. But that's what you do. You don't have to mute because you can't hear me. Yeah, I know. It's a Discord thing. I didn't do anything. It was set on default. I clicked default again, and now you can hear me. And everybody else could hear me. So, you know. Isn't that what men do? Are we going to turn this into a clown? Yeah. So tolerant. Okay, so you demanded to come on air. You're on air. What do you want? Yeah, I know. I knew it. I knew. Oh, they can't hear him. Oh, even better. This is good. I could say that he's saying terrible things. So there you go. As soon as you change one thing on Discord, then you got to change all the other things. Oh, Discord is such a piece. No, guarantee you what I have to do is the output device then also has to become this. Now watch. Bet you they can hear you now. Say something.
I'm saying something. We'll see.
Yep, they can hear you now. It's a Discord thing. I did the exact same thing. I changed, you know how my mic, you guys couldn't hear me? You couldn't hear me? I changed from default to default. I did the same thing. I changed my, my desktop from default to default. Sometimes Discord just decides that it's going to shit a brick. And you know what? I don't fight it anymore. Yeah, I know I ruined it. Now you can hear him again. It's terrible. I did. I ruined everything. So now you're here, and you have me here, and you have an audience, and it's CyberBuzz. What do you want?
I wanted to say hi to Breeze.
Aww.
And I also want to pimp out my mom's post. Can I do that?
That was almost a T-spit. I mean, these are all different shows, but you know what? Sure, why not? Because we were talking about Melinda's awesome Feathered Friends community earlier, and it's a great post. So, all right, do you have anything constructive to add to any of the topics we've touched on today? Anything that any of the dozens and dozens of people watching would give any shits about?
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at your hair.
Fuck my life. Liger, you're my only friend, buddy. All right. So what do you think we need to, as another member of NFT Showroom, what do you think we should focus on? Acid's pointing out that Feathered Friends has an insane engagement rate. Yeah, it does. It's a cool place full of nice people with interesting posts about a topic that everybody enjoys, which is fucking birds, man.
Oh, that's right. I'm going to pimp out my my witness too. If that's okay, because why not?
Yeah, so Ron is learning to code. He's made a landing page for his witness.
No, I stole that from CADOG.
Oh,
or CADOG.
God. You sold it from Woo Woof. Okay, well, whatever. Good for you. Anyhow, I am still one of your consensus witnesses by the skin of my teeth. That's not what this show's about, so I don't care if you vote for me or not. But So the reality is here we are. We're coming towards the end of the show. Ron, his witness was briefly down because he was switching his servers. He's back up and running, so please don't panic. Your neighborhood clown is a great choice for witness votes. And as for the rest of us, I'm hoping to kind of I don't know. I don't know what I'm hoping for in the witness realm these days, but I do hope to kind of remind people that witness voting matters, and new people are coming into the ecosystem all the time. So, that's something we could touch on. Inadvertently, you answered my question. Witness voting is a good option for newbies to learn about.
So, one thing I wanted, so you asked about NFT showroom, and I guess you were asking about what do you think the direction we should take it? Is that what you're asking?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. That's why I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, but I mean, if you want to talk about that, sure, why not? It's a good, cool topic.
Well, what was your question?
Well, because you guys come to this show, part of where CyberBuzz came from when it was its legacy chain version, and part of what I spend a lot doing every week is explaining or talking about or sort of layman's terming a bunch of concepts to do with the Hive blockchain or blockchain in general. And so one of the things, obviously, that becomes really relevant when we have been working so hard with onboarding through NFT Showroom and getting all these cool artists and people who are just dipping their toe into the crypto space, right now, NFT Showroom is one of the most active onboarding ramps to the Hive blockchain. So we're getting a lot of people with very different feature sets. What is it that we can help them learn about Hive? What are some topics that must be covered in a newbie night if this is the type of newbie that we're catering to, an NFT showroom newbie? What do we need to teach them? What do I need to focus on when I'm trying to help some of these people become cool bees in our little hive here?
Oh, okay. So, you know what? I think that, there's the basic stuff. We need to teach them about HP, resource credits. That's something that came up today in the help room. Somebody, they learned that they had a blog that came with their, their art NFT showroom account. And they're like, oh, I got a blog too. I'm going to blog. And then they learned, oh, I need HP in order to post on my blog. That like the kind of basic stuff, maybe even go into HBD, like explain what that is, explain how post rewards work. But I think one of the main overarching things that I'd like to see happen as far as like just overarching as a community, as any DApp owner, as everything, we need to stop promoting Hive as the blockchain, and we need to start promoting the dApps for what they are. Like, and if Hive the blockchain does, like, Lord Butterfly, I really hope the way they move that is, kind of promoting like what can your wallet do, and the Hive blockchain wallet can unlock NFTs, or like NFT showrooms, Splinterlands, video sharing with 3Speak.
I know, you're preaching to the choir. This has been a focus of this show for a long time, and even when I do a lot of the posting on behalf of Hive, or when I write materials that I send to exchanges or whatever, it's always a focus on your wallet key unlocks an entire ecosystem. And even at the start of the show when we were talking about this, Hive is uniquely suited to an artist because of all the things that come along with this account that they created just to sell art. And they don't realize that all of the tools that you are doing, elsewhere, or that you're paying for, actually are kind of part and parcel of your abilities on the Hive blockchain. And they're tied directly into your ability to market your work or connect with your peers, or, sort of target or market to other users outside the ecosystem. So yeah, it's it's kind of a focus that I hope to see continue. And certainly, I know Lord Butterfly, things start up in a couple of days. It starts around the 30th. And I know that I will probably be kind of helping and consulting around that where is needed. So, yeah.
I hope you do. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have any faith in Lord Butterfly. He's somehow made it this far with his proposal, with his initiative, so like I'm not saying he doesn't have it in him, but I know that you have a good head on your shoulders, and having that along with what he's Crim, you can't deny your giant head does great things.
It's so big. It's just so round. It might even be rounder than yours. But yeah, and I mean,
people will tremble at your head's girth.
It is. It is. I contain. we talked about this earlier in chat. I contain multitudes. So yeah. Okay. Well. All right. You want to go away now?
Oh, I want to talk more.
Oh, okay. Because
I pull my string.
I know, but I was just.
I'm just kidding. No. I'll get off here.
What do you fucking want?
Fuck off.
So while we still have viewers, which, it may or may not last much longer. That was Ron. Ron, you can vote for his witness. He's a very helpful member of all of the stuff we do around here at PalNet. He is the reason we have an MSP Waves. He is a tireless worker around the ecosystem. And despite being a fucking clown, I'm super glad that he's in my life. So we talked about this earlier. Part of the reason that we have this blockchain, and part of the reason that whether or not you think social media is terrible, there's some amazing things that come of it. And, we did briefly touch on some witness stuff there. And the reality is, I don't know how to approach this because it's been a really hard year for my witness partner. And so a lot of it is like, well, I owe all of the transparency to the blockchain, but at the same time, a lot of stories are not mine to tell. So yeah, I've been doing my best to kind of produce, to take care of things, to volunteer, to help out, to, engage people in our ecosystem, to lubricate, if you will. Still doing my best, but yeah, the complaints of not posting or, well, we don't hear from Jeff or, that makes you guys not good witnesses. Pretty fair. And I'm hoping that he'll be able to kind of really sit down, get a post out, and kind of become more visibly a part of the effort again. Will happen soon. But the reality is if you vote for my witness, that's awesome. That's great. If you don't vote for my witness or you are critical of my witness, that's also awesome. And that's great because you're thinking about your witness votes. I am happy that you are happy and engaged. And I will always do my best to answer your questions or to answer you truthfully or to at least explain to you why I've done something that has pissed you off. So looking at the time, I don't necessarily have enough time to do one more track for the end of the show. So you're stuck with me talking for the last couple of minutes. There is more stuff coming today, I believe. Let me just double check. So if you want to stick around, there's always more to watch. Now, for those of you who are watching on one of my personal accounts, I will be back, but keep an eye out. YouTube and other places, I try to schedule streams whenever I can to make it easier for you. But this is a question that comes up a lot, and I get yelled at a lot. How do you want to be notified about live streams? What would make you fucking happy? The account recovery thing. I thought you wanted me to talk about that on Newbie Night. But yes, account recovery is huge and it's really important right now. So most of you who watch the show, you're fucking smart and you already know. But if you don't, please, please, please remember one of the best things about Hive and about our code base is that you have Bonehead's the next show. So Ag is not after me anymore. Okay, so whatever. There's nothing. Go to mspwaves.com, check the schedule. But account recovery is very important. So let me quickly touch on it. If you still have an account recovery that is Steam or is another account that you can't get in touch with and who can't verify that you're you, change it and change it now. And one of the reasons for that is because what happens when you need to recover your account? Let's say you do get phished or you get socially engineered and you lose one of your keys. Well, that's okay. That's why we have tiered keys. And in this case, If your account recovery is good, we can get your account back. We may not be able to get your funds back, but we can always get your account back. But what has to happen is you have to show that you have your old keys and you have to broadcast a transaction with them. And then your recovery account as a person needs to say, yes, I can verify you are who you are. Maybe it's me and I'm going to hop on a voice with you and we're going to do it together. Fine. They broadcast a transaction confirming that. And it has to happen within 24 hours. It has to happen in a 1-day time period. So if your recovery account is Steam or Steemit or somebody who has not messaged on the chain for 3 years, change it. And if you need more options, they're out there. There are some really great options. Use one of your own alt accounts. That's a great option as well. And of course, you can also use Archange's thing, which basically sets you up with your own email address and helps you with recovery. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to leave it there. Do a bit of research. If you need to message me, please do. Otherwise, I'll be back next week because nobody answered me no. So you fuckers better be here. I'll